constructed is like a ship that's turned over. So those look like knee posts inside the hull of a ship. And in a ship, that keeps the water out, right? Provides the buoyancy. But this is classic English, based on English architecture, and it allows a big space in the nave. The stage is for, I read one newspaper article from 1900 where they brought a 30-foot Christmas tree in here, and the patients all exchanged gifts. Right here, it was all decked out in Christmas colors, and it was a beautiful little article in the newspaper from 1900. The original morgue was underneath the stage, and because there wasn't refrigeration at that time, and the way that they keep the bodies on ice, the two rooms are still down there, you have to go in and around to get to them, but they got ice in the field on the east side of the campus. There's a little grove of trees next to where they're building a new development. There was a barn there, and they dammed a little brook that crosses under Hospital Road, and they made an ice pond. So they would cut the ice from that pond, keep it in the barn, and they would use the ice around the campus and also use it for the purpose here. They did autopsies in this building until the teens, sometime like 1916. Yes, that's right. So they did autopsies in here until 1915 when they built the infirmary. They shifted the autopsy work next door. And they did about 70 autopsies a year. So, and they did them in the basement here first. Of course, the chapel is where you would want that process. So the town wants to restore this and make cultural space out of it. They had Catholic services on Saturday afternoon, Protestant on Sunday morning, and Jewish on Tuesday. They had a rabbi, they had a priest, and they had a minister on staff. And the patients frequently came in here. They had dances in here. And I don't know, Rennie, if you or Gil or anybody else or you guys remember things from your childhood in here.
I was here the day President Kennedy was shot. I was up in the balcony watching a movie over here. I remember that. You know.
Wow. So they did show movies in here. One thing that you might find interesting is if you go back and watch the movie Shutter Island, there's a scene at the end of the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio has a gun and he's pointing it at the superintendent, and he's going to shoot the superintendent, but the superintendent knows there's no bullets in the gun. That scene was filmed in that room.
Oh, is that right?
That's the room that scene was filmed in. And there's another scene in Shutter Island where Leonardo DiCaprio is fighting on a scaffold, which is like the lighthouse scaffold. That scaffold was built in here. The whole scene was filmed in here. And if you look at the molding behind the photographer, you'll see it's made out of styrofoam, because Martin Scorsese was such a detail freak. He made them put fake molding on the floor made out of styrofoam. So, and then in 2017, they filmed a brothel scene in here. So the new movie coming out in August, there's a scene filmed right in here. You can kind of see the outline of the room that they built on the floor. Right here. See this white outline? Square. Right here. They built a room here. I saw it. They built a big room and it looked like it had concrete walls, and it's called the brothel scene.
What's the name of the movie?
X-Men: The New Mutants.
John, how many movies were filmed on Broadway?
There have been 3 major motion pictures here. The first one was I think it was the first one. I think it was. The Box with Cameron Diaz.
Okay.
And you would recognize the intersection where West Halls, if you go back and look at that movie, there's a Santa Claus scene. Santa Claus is ringing the bell. That was right in front of West Hall, the building with the pillars.
Okay.
And you'll actually recognize the little intersection if you watch the movie.
Because I know in the beginning of Shutter Island, when we went to the movies to see that, it's driving through.
Oh,
and
half
I'm
of this
like,
is
oh my God, it's all the buildings that we walked by.
And if you go out on this side of the chapel, the very last scene was filmed here. They built a fake dormer when DiCaprio realizes what he did, so he opts to go get a lobotomy. He's sitting on the steps right there. He walks right down that concrete to a car that's waiting to take him to go get his lobotomy. And then the scene with the grizzled up old woman, she's filmed right in the corner back here. But you'll recognize the chapel, I mean, it's obvious, you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
And now the X-Men movie was entirely filmed here. So, and that's not coming out till the end of August, beginning of September. And Disney merged with Marvel, and for a while they were thinking they were going to put this movie out on Hulu, but now Disney has said they've committed to making this a movie theater movie. And I still am, a funny story, when I showed this to one of the art directors, I brought her in here and I showed her this woodwork, and she said to me, "That looks like Dumbledore's office." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I designed it." Her name's Molly Hughes, and she designed the Harry Potter, Dumbledore's office in the Harry Potter.